Hey everybody, and welcome back on board Blown Away. In this week's edition we are concentrating on some upholstery, so there will be no sailing content. Well, not in this video anyway. So here's a quick look at Blown Away under spinnaker, leaving Vathi in Meganisi, the Ionian Greece, back in 2022. And probably my most favourite shot of this boat under sail that we've ever captured. And why am I showing you this old footage? Well, I've been told so many times how attractive this boat is and how well kept it is, and there's a really good reason for that. I spend a significant portion of my time afloat making repairs. Okay, that's enough of looking at the pretty boat. Let's take a look at how I keep it looking pretty. I'm very keen on preventative maintenance and always have been. These seats from a distance may look nice, but the sun has taken its toll, and it's time they are recovered again. I'm going to wind the clock back to 2001, because in 2001 I sailed Berintha, now known as Blown Away, from Ireland to Bristol for a refit. And the eagle-eyed amongst you may recognise the face in the picture. That is my youngest son, Sam. And this time 20 years ago was the first time that Sam had seen this boat. And this is what the interior looked like back in 2001. She was starting to show her age and really needed some love and attention. So whilst I concentrated on the exterior of the boat, which needed a significant amount of welding, those cushions were sent away to an upholsterer to be professionally recovered. Now I'm not going to tell you that this blue material lasted over 20 years in the deck saloon. Because of the UV damage, these cushions have been recovered twice already. But when I had them first recovered, I bought the whole roll of material, so I had plenty of spare when I left the UK. But that supply of material has now been exhausted, and I'm going to have to cover these seats in something new. So the last time I was back in the UK visiting family, I paid a visit to KO Spruce in Southampton to pick up a roll of material suitable to recover these seats. So for the next couple of days I'm going to be upholstering these two seat pads. Now I'm sure many of you are saying, what has that got to do with liveaboard lifestyle? Well, let me tell you, it's not always about the money that you earn, it's often about the money that you save. And I'm saving around €500 by doing this work myself, and that for me is an extra month afloat. So let's strip this seat pad down and see what we've got to do to repair it. And the first piece it's coming off is the backing. This is put on so that you can't see the staples that are holding the main seat cover to the piece of plywood that forms the seat base. And all of these staples need to be removed. And with all the staples removed, I can peel this upholstered cover away from the foam cushion. Let's take a look and see just how badly threadbare this cover actually is. Now at this stage I could unpick the sections that make up this cover, and I could use those pieces as a template to make a new one. But I already know that the base of the seat is made of plywood, and therefore the top section needs to be the same size as the plywood base. So therefore all I need to do is use the plywood base to mark out the shape on the new material. Don't forget, when I go to cut this, I need to leave an extra centimetre to enable me to hem the material.
People, listen up. Wear comfortable shoes. Remember, you can climb Mount Everest, but you can't live there. Stay hydrated. Keep your feet on the ground. Work hard, but don't make work your life.
And the seat pad itself won't need a hem because it is being stitched to the vertical section of the cushion. However, the section underneath that covers the staples will need to be hemmed. So I've marked out 2 pieces, and it's time to get them cut out from the roll of material. Remember, measure twice, cut once. Oh, and don't cut through the bed sheet. That's another good tip. So with the 2 pieces cut, it's time to hem one of them. So this section is the bottom piece that covers the staples. Putting a hem into the circular section of the seat can be a bit of a pain in the arse, but with perseverance you can make a neat job of it. So that's 2 of the components made, the top section and the bottom section. But you'll notice on my seats that there is a bolt rope going around the top section to give it some decorative effect. And I need to make enough of this to upholster the seats in the saloon. So I'm using the full width of the material, measured out to about 15 centimeters, which will give me plenty of material to sew to when joining the sections together. Now the machine that I own is a Sailrite LSZ1, quite a common machine used amongst sailors. But for simple upholstery jobs like this, you could use any common or garden sewing machine that is a fraction of the price of the Sailrite. And another little tip for you wannabe cruisers, always take your sewing machine outside when you're doing these jobs, because somebody else will see you sewing and they will ask you to do some work, and if your work is competent enough, you'll earn some money from your sewing machine. And this piece is the vertical panel that goes up the side of the cushion. This piece will be sewn into the other 2 sections to make the complete cushion cover.
To the chart. Singles starting with D.I.Y from the 80s. Jet on the way.
With all of the sections made, I can now mark out the centre lines for each, so that I can roughly line up the material and pin it together. That way it doesn't move while I'm sewing it. And where there's a 90-degree bend or more, I make an incision into the bolt rope so that it folds that much easier. Now I just slowly stitch around the hems that I made on the bolt rope until I've gone the complete circle around the cover. It's a little bit fiddly this way because all of these pieces of material have to line up and I want to make sure there are no creases in it. But what it does do is make it incredibly strong, because what you're looking at is 6 layers of material which are all hemmed and individually sewn before being stitched together. too shabby. And with the cover now finished, I can align it onto the base and staple gun it to hold it in position. Now I know that watching me staple is not the most interesting thing in the world, so we're going to skip through to the finished result. With all the stapling done, these chairs fit into position perfectly, and I think they look pretty good. What do you think? Leave me a comment down below. And welcome to Blown Away's supporter section. If you'd like to join the crew, here's how you do it. A big shout out to our monthly Ko-fi supporters, the McKenna family, David Luchford, Captain Svetlana and Graham Elby. Thank you for your monthly payments.
Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride.
And a big thank you to the people that have made donations to the coffee fund. And last but not least, the Patreon supporters. Without your help, we wouldn't even own a camera. Matt, Michael, Ian, Miles, Timothy, JG, Jim Bracken, Johannes Mariotti and Thomas Lomax. Thank you so much for your monthly donations via Patreon. And I still have some polo shirts left if anybody is interested in looking as attractive as these people. Thanks for watching and see you again soon. And yes, I do have a stinking cold. Welcome back to the UK.